Yeah.
I want streamers and like party poppers. The fact that we've made technology work. So if all is working well, Julie and I are saying hello, hopefully, to Instagram and Facebook and YouTube live. So that's very, very exciting.
Other than that,
Oh my
just having
goodness me.
nice chat between ourselves.
It's not exactly. And I have just brought up the chat on the side of my screen here. So in theory, again, we can see you. So if you are watching live or hashtag replay, then please let us know. We would love your comments back, even if it was yeah, to get off that technology. So anyway, after all that excitement, I am very excited to have the wonderful Julia with me here today live, um, who was my partner in crime in organising Vitality Retreat 2022. And we have collaborated again because it was, I mean, we couldn't just leave that on the table and not do that again.
No,
So
absolutely.
exactly. So Vitality Retreat 2023 is happening on the 14th to the 21st of October this year. And the early bird prices are still in play until the end of this month. So that is a Friday night, 5 o'clock. So when my fabulous web guy closes off on a Friday night for his cocktails, you think I'm joking. I'm not. That is when the price changes. He will change it for me and then he'll head off to his cocktails. So don't leave it until then, pretty please, because these are the best prices that we can possibly stretch out for you guys. So go to vitalityrooms.co.uk/retreat and go and check that out. But I don't need to tell you, you can go and look at that. What I have done is brought Julia in to just, she's so amazing at describing this place. So thank you for coming to join us, Julia.
Delighted to be here. I am actually in Potter's Bar, but behind me, is this gorgeous view of Capitash Beach, which is 5 minutes down the road from where we stay in Calcombe. So that's just
Oh,
to whet your appetites a little bit.
if you'll pardon the pun. I love it. I love it. I love it. So the first question I want to ask you, and I'd love you to kind of bring in how the business came into all this and everything, but why Turkey, and tell us about a little bit about Kalkan's magic as well.
Absolutely. Well, Turkey, I discovered with my mum in, let's see when we went. It was 2013, February 2013. And mum said to me, can you come on a cultural trip to Turkey with me? We're not Turkish, by the way. I know some people mistake me as that sometimes, be the dark hair. And I said, well, why not? I love history, I love culture, and it was traveling all around the southwest coast of Turkey. And actually, I just thought this place, Turkey, has something to offer everybody. It's got the landscapes, the scenes, the sun, the sea, the history, so many different activities, whatever your tastes are. And talking of tastes, number one for me was the food. Just amazing. I'm a big foodie, and it really ticked all the boxes there. And on top of that, I was surprised at the standard of accommodation. I don't know why I had this preconceived idea that it might be sort of a bit grotty or a bit old, but it really isn't. So much is really quite luxurious and very, very clean. So I thought I've got to find something to do in Turkey because I love it and I want to let everybody else know about it. So that was where it sort of started in 2014, my love for Turkey. By 2015, I'd done the interior design on a villa, on my first villa, and then started marketing that. And from there, it went on to marketing other villas. And then somebody suggested, why don't you take some of your ladies from a networking group away on a holiday? And that was when the first retreat started in 2016. And from then, it's just grown exponentially, really. And the retreats are my very favourite part of the business.
They are incredible. And you are right, actually, with the level of accommodation that's I've never been to Turkey. That was last year was the first time. And actually the standards of accommodation, the standards of you have this idea of like even the toilets not being very nice and all that sort of stuff. And there's just it's not like that at all, thankfully.
Well, another thing I'd like to pick up upon, sorry, this is probably not going to your plan, but you're used to that with me.
Yeah, plan out the window.
I was thinking about, what I preconceived ideas and what I did and didn't expect from retreats. And I must admit, the first time I went on a retreat or facilitated a retreat, I was so nervous about how I might appear against other ladies there. And oh my gosh, I didn't do a diet and I'm not going to look the best in a bikini and things like that. And the one thing, the bit of magic about retreats is you are there with other ladies that all feel the same way, that all had those same thoughts. And actually you realize that you can find the confidence, and everybody's different shapes and sizes, and you don't need to look like somebody, off of Instagram or Vogue magazine. And that I found a real comfort and a joy.
Yeah, I completely feel that. Actually, we were very, very comfortable around the pool and the beach club, and whatever we were doing was very relaxed. No, I completely agree. Oh, just how lovely. And before I get you onto that, we've half touched on some trips and things. Can you just tell us a little bit about how magical Kalkan is? Because it is, and again, I love travel, and there are so many places I want to go. I very, very, very rarely go back to the same place twice. And the fact that I can't wait to go back, I want to be like a local in Kalkan. I want to like like Julia does, walk down and they say, hello, Julia. And it's just, I love the place and I can't wait to come back. So what's that magic? What is it?
Do you know, it has its own special charm. And I think it's because it's a little gem of a place which you only access if you're specifically going there. So it's slightly off the beaten track. It's very easy to get to, but unless you wanted to go to Kalkan, you wouldn't stop off there because it's in this little cove on the Mediterranean coast. So everything has grown up from the bay of Kalkan into the hills, and virtually every villa has an amazing view. The streets where all the little boutiques are and restaurants are cobbled. It's very, very quaint. And the welcome you receive there is something else. They're just very, very friendly, very warm people. So I do think it has a special charm, and that's what keeps people coming back. Rarely have my clients not come back. They do tend to book year after year. It's a place where you get to, and within minutes, you are starting to relax and unwind. And I think that helps particularly with retreats, because people are ready to sup up what you are going to be giving them.
Yeah, it does have that kind of like homely feel to it, actually. Yeah, you absolutely. And for me, another aspect that I wanted to create within my retreats was the fact that if you were traveling somewhere lovely to be on retreat, I wanted to be able to incorporate where we were in that. I didn't want you to kind of go just to the villa, do all of the work within the villa, and then fly back off again, and then never see anything sort of the local area. So so the fact that it was very important to have a really lovely local area, and so within that we have got some incredible trips planned for Vitality Retreat 2023. We're going to do the hammam. I just had a one-to-one with somebody else and was describing the hammam. I mean, what in it's, I'm stumbling already. It's indescribable, the experience, but maybe Julia can give us a better description than my stumbling of it.
Yeah, well, the lovely thing about the hammam is we generally do that on day one. So you're starting to come down to relax, and this just sets the tone for the rest of the holiday. I think it also breaks the ice amongst the guests as well, because it's quite a unique experience. I think as Brits, we're not used to stripping off too often. And so we go there in our old bikinis because they're using salts and scrubs and oils. So you don't want to damage a nice new costume. And you lay on this heated marble slab where you're so beautifully cleansed and scrubbed. And I'm not going to describe way too much of it, but there's massage involved as well, and a relaxing time with a face mask on. And it just starts the holiday off with fantastic, tone, really, a vibe that carries on and gets better and better. So that's our first activity really out of the villa, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it was so perfect. It just couldn't have fit better into it. Then we went off to Sacklefant Gorge.
Yes, I mean, Gorge is gorgeous. It's a spiritual, natural place where basically the gorge is created through with water coursing through the rocks and splitting them in half. I say rocks, it's a mountainside, and it's just created this place of natural beauty and awe. And on top of that are wonderful cafes with Ottoman seating going out into the river, where we have the most amazing breakfast. And then we go for a gorgeous walk in the gorge. Can I say that any more times? And
gorge.
Gorgeous. And it's just an exhilarating and beautiful, mindful experience, I think, for everybody.
It really, and it's the dramatic scenery complements everything at just the right time in our transformation journey in the week. It was just, yeah, and it's parts of it, the beauty is incredible, parts of it, the dramatic scene is incredible, and again, without spoiling any surprises for people that come, there were certainly moments that we got that challenged me in a good way, and it was such a fantastic trip. I mean, I loved it so much. And so then we had the wonderful boat trip with the captain.
Yes. The boat trip, I think, is the highlight for most people. When I ask them afterwards, what their highlights are, on most of the retreats and holidays, the boat trip is usually one, because it's relaxing. It's a private trip, so it's just for us. There's only us on the boat.
It felt very luxurious that we charted the whole thing.
I know, and there's lovely sort of lounges that you lie out on. The food, I've got to say it again, is amazing, absolutely amazing, all cooked fresh on the boat. Usually we do fish of some sort, calamari. We'll see what we fancy on the day. And it's just a perfect sort of culmination where everybody comes together. We've been as a group, we've been as one maybe for almost a week at that point, And it's the perfect way to spend time together towards the end of our time together. And we had some good fun, didn't we, on paddle boards as well last time, and canoe. But we won't tell you too much. We stop at little bays and we have lots of swimming, and it's just perfect. In October, the sea is so warm.
And it was the right combination, I think, again, of relaxing.
Yes.
And if anybody wants it, that bit of activity with jumping into the sea, or a bit of swimming, or like you said, with the paddleboards and stuff, it was a beautiful combination, and we were really looked after.
Yes, we did feel. In fact, I think that you can say of the retreat as a whole is, for somebody coming on the retreat, they do feel really well looked after. They don't have to think when they get up in the morning, what they're going to do or have to do, or because they don't have to do anything apart from turn up.
Yeah.
So
And turn up, and just be there in the luxury, which is, and that's, here's a beautiful lead on then to our day at the beach club, which was so fabulous. We're extending the amount of time that we spend there this year.
Yes, well, the beach club is super luxurious. You've got really nice, thick mattresses on the sun loungers, and you can't do anything but to lie back and relax on them. And if you're lucky, no, not even if you're lucky, you will be offered drinks brought straight to your sunbed. And if you're feeling a little bit hot, you can just nip up to the saltwater pool or nip down the steps into the sea. So it's just a truly relaxing time, and really your special time to sit and chat, to relax, to read, to do whatever you want, but be waited on very nicely. Yes.
Yeah, and the attention to detail to that place, even as you're walking out of the sea, there are freshwater showers just there at the side to be able to just rinse yourself off, and there's towels and stuff. It's just incredible.
And it's, the whole area has interesting details. The club itself was set up by somebody who had a very good eye for interior design. So there's some very interesting bits and pieces around the place, and it does feel luxurious and indulgent, and that's what you want when you're, giving yourself a bit of special time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there was one trip that we didn't manage to do last year because Mother Nature intervened. And as it happened, it all worked out absolutely perfectly. But I know that this trip is possibly one of your favourites.
It's actually my very favourite place in the world. If you ask me where my happy place is, it is Patara Beach. Patara Beach is a shoreline which stretches about 16 kilometres, all golden sands. You've got, in some areas, you've got lovely sand dunes, and the fir tree wood sort of leads into that. That's where we'll go through to sit on the beach and watch the sunset. It literally melts into the sea, and it's so special, so very, very special. But Patara Beach itself is just an amazing natural place to visit. And, you don't have to bump into anyone for hours there because there's just such an expanse of sand and sea. So whatever the weather, I love that place. And after we've watched the sunset, we will then go for a meal in the local Patara village there, which is also very, very good, like exceedingly good. You can't believe how yummy it is.
Do we feel like maybe you've sampled every place to eat and found the very best ones for us, Julia?
It has been a tough job. You
Wow.
can't
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah, you can't imagine. So many restaurants, so little time.
I
It's
know, I
beautiful.
can imagine. I mean, yeah, we did sample about 3 restaurants, I think, whilst we were out there, and
Yeah.
every single one was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, we again, I keep saying it, we were so well looked after. I mean, so Julia and I have made sure that as much as we can do ourselves makes you feel completely looked after. But the place that we're in, like, does that for you, doesn't it?
Mm, mm. I think wherever you go, the service is so lovely. It's so welcoming and friendly that you feel looked after, that, it just continues throughout your day.
Mm.
And in terms of the food, there's such a great variety as well. And last year we were vegetarian for at least 5 days of the retreat, weren't we? And it's not at all difficult in
Yeah,
Calcon, because you've
yeah,
got the freshest vegetables and fruits and
yeah,
cheese
yeah.
and
And
everything. Oh,
even there were a few were a little not worried, I wouldn't say, maybe a little hesitant about it. And actually, the few comments that I had afterwards about how great they felt, because again, it's just
mm,
about making everything easy, and it makes it a little bit easier for your body. So
yeah, yeah,
it's yeah,
everybody's digestion stays good.
yeah,
And I, I think it gives you a wee bit more energy because you haven't got that heavy feeling when you've
yeah,
eaten meat. I am a great meat eater as well, but I really enjoyed not eating meat. And in fact, so I know this isn't about me, but hey, I'm going to tell you anyway. Since I came back from your retreat, I don't eat meat every day. I don't feel it's a necessity anymore. And
yeah.
that's really, yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
That's really no, that's really interesting. But I mean, that's really lovely to hear, because within the retreat, I felt like you became like sort of one with it all. So to
Mm.
hear that you've taken benefits away from it
Oh, definitely.
as well is just fantastic.
Yeah. Every retreat I do, I always learn something. You always learn not only from the retreat, but from the people around you, so that, because everybody brings something different to the table. And
Yeah,
that's what's so wonderful, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness. It's just, oh, it's so exciting. We haven't even touched on, we talked about the how lovely the accommodation is in general.
Mm.
Um, the luxury villa that we stay in is, I mean, out of this world, isn't it?
Yes, it feels very spacious. You won't ever feel that there's nowhere to escape to. You have plenty of space, and there's little areas you can go to if you want to be by yourself. Nobody would, bat an eye if you want a bit of quiet time, whatever.
Mm.
Lovely pool area. And the pool actually is an infinity pool, so you can sort of look over the edge straight out to sea. When you're sitting back in the evenings, it looks like the pool runs into the sea. It's a fantastic view from there. The bedrooms themselves are all very comfortable. Turkish beds, I find amazing. They're super comfy. And each room has its own ensuite shower room. So even if you're in a twin room, you're only sharing a shower room with one other person. So it's really very comfortable and very easy to relax, really. There's everything there that you could wish for.
Yeah, yeah, literally from the moment we stepped off the plane, the airport's enormous, it's spacious, it's quite relaxing, as airports are not normally like that. And then you step off into your air-conditioned minibus that just scoops you along. It's just, oh, I'm really excited now.
You know, shall I meet you in the airport? Half an
Let's
hour.
go. Yeah, let's go. I can get up there that quick. Oh my goodness. So exciting. And I mean, and we've been talking about like the nuts and bolts of the retreat, and as lovely as everything that we've been talking about is, this really, it is the icing on the cake. These are just like the sprinkles on top of
Mm.
the beautiful work that you will be doing whilst you are with us in Calcan, with your body, with your mind, and just allowing yourself to just suck up all this loveliness.
I think the most important thing you can come with is curiosity. To be curious about yourself and sort of ready to work on your own confidence and your own sort of challenges, but
Yeah.
also to be curious about what's around you. And that way you will just gain so much from this experience.
Yeah, yeah. It is a beautiful, beautiful gift to yourself. So I'm hoping that the curious of you, I'm inviting the curious of you, please to just send me a message, and let's talk, and don't start letting any of the stories get in front of you. Just send me a message. Let's start talking, and see if we can make this happen for you. I'm really, really excited. Thank you so much, Julia, for coming to talk to us. That was just yeah, anytime. So next week after.
Why not? We can
That's
make
it.
it a regular thing. I
That
don't know
we
if anybody will be listening, but we'll enjoy it.
come and chat with Catherine and Julia. This might be a regular thing. Watch this space.
Oh, brilliant. Lovely to
So
see you. I
fantastic.
cannot wait to welcome everyone to Calcan.
Oh, me either. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, comments, #replay, and yeah, let us know your comments. We would love to hear from you. Until then, take care. Bye bye.